What is going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to Knicks Media. My name is Richie. The New York Knicks fall to the Cleveland Cavaliers for the final score of 110 to 104. This was a brutal game because the Knicks were in control. They had a double-digit lead, and the fourth quarter, Garland completely took over the game. Jalen Brunson had not an efficient night for his standards at all, 8 for 24 from the field. And this is listen, it's the third game of the season. The Knicks fall to 1-2, and it stinks to lose this way, especially on your home floor, because you want to protect the home floor. The Cleveland Cavaliers improved to 4-0 on the season. 4-0 on the season. The Knicks get outscored 36-26 in the fourth quarter, and a lot of injuries to be concerned about, more specifically Josh Hart, because Jalen Brunson's injury seemed like he was fine. He came back in the game, but Josh Hart is dealing with some type of shin, lower leg injury. He did not return in this game. And the Knicks, man, the big question a lot of Knicks fans are wondering right now, the first thing I have to talk about is Karl-Anthony Towns' lack of shooting. 8 shots. 4 for 8. I think we can all agree here that Karl-Anthony Towns deserves to shoot the ball and get more looks offensively, all right? 13 points, 10 rebounds for Karl-Anthony Towns, only 8 shots. He shot the least amount out of the starting 5. That should not be the case, okay? Jalen Brunson should be the leading shot, maker in terms of shooting the most shots, because he's going to be the number one option on this Knicks squad offensively. Karl-Anthony Towns will be right next to him. All right, Bridges had a good, efficient night. OG had an okay night. But at the end of the day, Karl-Anthony Towns deserves some more minutes. More shots. You got to get him in rhythm. You got to get him comfortable. It's a new city, new team. And I feel like we need to make sure that he is going out there and getting some opportunities. Deuce McBride had another good game off the bench. And the big thing that we all saw here is that Jericho Sims may have just been replaced from Ariel Hukporti. All right, Ariel Hukporti, the Knicks rookie, got real minutes. He got subbed in with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in clutch time. We saw that awesome audio clip of Deuce McBride during that Pacers game coaching up the rookie Ariel on the court. Hey, man, don't take these minutes for granted. This is where Thibodeau earns your trust. And now Ariel Hukporti had a ridiculous poster that got wiped away, which was BS in my opinion. I know his right arm got hooked a little bit, but that's a bogus call in my opinion, man. So Ariel Hukporti may have just stole Jericho Sims' job as being the primary guy off the bench in replacement of Karl-Anthony Towns. But I think the Knicks gave this game away. Darius Garland took over the game in the fourth quarter. He was unstoppable, unguardable. Donovan Mitchell had another good game. The big two of those two. Darius Garland, 34 points. Majority of those points came in the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell, 25 points. Mobley with 17 points. The Knicks did not have any answers in the fourth quarter. We went into this game, into the fourth quarter, I believe, with a 4-point lead, and we lose this game by 6 points. Okay, that's just not what you want to see on your home court. Seeing a team like the Cavaliers, you got to give them credit. The Cavs are a good basketball team. I'm not taking away anything from what they did, but at the end of the day, man, you got to be able to win this game at home. And now the Knicks go on a long road trip, all right? They go on a long road trip, starting in Miami on Wednesday night, okay? Then it's a 4-game road trip. The next 2 weeks, they're back at home next Friday, November 8th. So sound off in the comments, Knicks fans. Let me know how you're feeling right now. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did not already. Do me a favor and hit the like button right now, guys. Subscribe to the channel. The Knicks have fell to 1-2 on the season, okay? 1-2 on the season. Knicks Nation, do your boy a solid favor by simply liking the show. Comment your thoughts, all right? It's going to be a long season, Knicks fans, long season. But these are the types of games that's frustrating, right? Because we're trying to find an identity with this squad. We're coming off an elite game, our first win of the season, Friday night against the Indiana Pacers, where we just blew them out and saw every single player on offense for the Knicks on the starting 5 went off. Double digits from every single player in the starting 5, which is the same exact thing tonight, by the way. Every single starting 5 player, I believe, was in double digits. 21 points for Brunson, Bridges with 19, Hart with 16, Anunoby with 15, and Towns for 13. The difference is last game we had 4 players that hit 20 points, not the case here. And I think Jalen Brunson having an off night was a big reason for this loss. 8 of 24 from the field. Too many turnovers, giving the ball up, man. Brunson had 1 turnover. Josh Hart had 5 turnovers. As a team, we turned the ball over way too much. We gave the Cavs too much opportunities. And, Brunson 0 for 4 from downtown. The clutch was the big issue, man. The clutch You got to play your best defense. And this game started off defensive-minded, right? I mean, the Knicks really played well. Their best quarter in this game was the second quarter. We got a nice lead going into halftime. We played pretty good ball in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, the Cavs just came and ripped the game from us. Ripped the game from us. And Karl-Anthony Towns, him only shooting the ball 8 times, it's concerning me a little bit because this is a guy that needs volume. If there's one thing about Karl-Anthony Towns as a New York Knick, he needs volume in order to get comfortable with his new teammates, a new city. 8 shot attempts is wild. 1 of 2 from the three-point land. Shoot more than 2 threes. And that's not on Cat. I think it's onto the players around him to allow him to get more opportunities. I mean, Cameron Payne shot the ball 7 times, and Towns shot the ball 8 times. That's ridiculous. You talk about Cameron Payne off the bench with 10 minutes, shoots the ball 7 times, and a Cat with 32 minutes shoots the ball 8 times. Ridiculous. So definitely not the end of the world, but at the end of the day, this was a game where the Cleveland Cavaliers are proven to be a very good team. I mean, I think we got to give them credit here. They're a team that went toe-to-toe with the Boston Celtics in the playoffs last year. They went just as far as the Knicks did in the NBA playoffs last year. They're fully healthy. I know they got 1 injury, but Garland is an all-star. Donovan Mitchell's their guy. Yeah, I know that we matched up against them in the playoffs 2 years ago, but these are the types of teams that the Knicks are going to be contending for in the Eastern Conference to try to, with the seeding to get in the playoffs. These are games that are going to be important down the line, all right? So when you face off against a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers early on in the season, it gives you an opportunity to kind of test the waters of how do we match up against the best within our conference, and we failed tonight. So Knicks fans, don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video as well, folks. The Knicks fall to the Cleveland Cavaliers 110-104 at Madison Square Garden, and now they have to get a W on the road in Miami coming up on Wednesday. And then they're in Detroit on Friday night. Then they're in Houston on Monday and in Atlanta on Wednesday before they host the Milwaukee Bucks on Friday. So Knicks Nation, let me know your thoughts, man. Frustrating loss that the Knicks fell to 1-2 early on in the season. I am not concerned whatsoever with this loss. The Knicks are still trying to find their identity, and this Knicks team has to make sure they stay healthy, because the last thing we need is get banged up early on. Jalen Brunson's injury was a scare. Now Josh Hart's injury is scary. He was already questionable going into this game. We already have Precious Achiuwa injured. We had Landry Shamet go down, and now he's a Knick with that Westchester draft pick. So we just got to make sure we stay healthy, man, because that's the only thing that's going to get in the way of this Knicks team, man. There's going to be off nights. Brunson is human. He's not going to be a MVP every single game, even though we needed him to hit those floaters. He missed a lot of easy shots. But at the end of the day, they got to learn from this, just like they learned from the opener. I expect this Knicks team to bounce back with a W on Wednesday night. The one thing I know about my New York Knicks is that they respond to adversity very, very well. There's a lot of times early last season where this Knicks fan base gave up on them, and then obviously there's a lot of things that happened last year, trading 2 big trades that changed the season, but I don't expect any trades to happen like it did last year. So I trust this Knicks team to be able to bounce back. You should too if you're a Knicks fan, 110%. There's no reason why you should not expect this team to be able to bounce back after a loss like this. I mean, we went on national television for the NBA opener in Boston and got completely embarrassed. And we bounced back and dominated against a good Pacers team. And now we go out there and lose to a red-hot Cleveland Cavaliers team that is now 4-0. All right, 4-0. Please don't hit the panic button. All right. I feel like we need Brunson to stop trying to be the hero. I think that's my biggest takeaway from this game is Jalen Brunson tried to be a little too much in this game, right? He's an excellent player. He's our leader. He's an all-star. He's the captain. But shooting 24 shots when Karl-Anthony Towns had 8 shots, I don't think that's going to be a recipe for success. I think that if there's something that this Knicks team can learn from, it's get more balanced, okay? Get more balanced. Allow Karl-Anthony Towns more shots. Feed him the rock, more pick and pops. Give him the ball down low. The guy shot 50%. Had a double-double, but only had 13 points. And I also just want to give a big shout-out to Josh Hart. I know he went down in this game, but he was like the best Knicks in this game. The guy had nearly a double-double at halftime. 9 points, 10 rebounds at the half. Finished 16 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals for Josh Hart. Did have 5 turnovers, which needs to get cleaned up. But he's shooting the ball pretty well from downtown. Hit 2 threes. Hopefully Josh Hart's okay because he's a big reason why we were in this game. And maybe his injury kind of was a big reason why we lost this game because when he went out, this Knicks team kind of just lost their identity of rebounds, getting stops down on the other end. So hopefully he's all right. And then Mikal Bridges, he had a pretty good game. 19 points, 9 of 15 from the field. The guy doesn't miss mid-range. The guy doesn't miss from the midi. I don't think he's missed. Can somebody give me like a shot percentage from the mid? Because every time this guy Bridges shoots a fadeaway, contested mid-range jump shot, it goes in. A lot of people were concerned about Bridges' jump shot. That should not be the case anymore, man. I know it's early on in the season. It's not like he's putting up 30 points and putting up like 5 threes a game, but his shot does not look broken to me, man. He does not look broken to me. So OG had a pretty good game, 15 points on 7 of 13 from the field with 2 steals, but not enough and able to get the W. And Deuce McBride, 29 minutes off the bench, 14 points for Deuce McBride, 50% from the field, 2 of 6 from downtown. So Knicks Nation, let me know your thoughts, man. Hopefully we'll see more. We got BX Pack says, I want to see Brunson get this team more involved. I agree. That's my biggest takeaway from this game, too. I think Jalen Brunson was a little too selfish with the ball in his hands. He tried to create more for himself than his teammates, which resulted in a lot of issues, okay? And we like Jalen. We trust him in isolation and clutch moments, but at sometimes you got to move the ball around, man. You got to move the ball around. We will be just fine. JB will learn from his mistakes. Absolutely, man. Not concerned whatsoever. Eli Jet says, what's good, Richie? One thing I'm concerned about is someone other than Brunson creating offense. Towns isn't a draw. None of our guys can draw a defense besides JB. A little worried for playoffs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the playoffs yet. We got a long season to get through before we're going to have to worry about how we match up against the elite teams in the NBA postseason. And I feel like Knicks fans don't want to hear this, but the reality is this Knicks team is fairly new. And chemistry is not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's going to happen as the season goes on. So what we can hope for as Knicks fans is to, stay afloat, win some games, learn from adversity, and as the season goes on, the Knicks team gets better and better and better. And hopefully we're playing our best basketball by February, March, and April, and then leading into the NBA postseason. That's how you got to look at it, bro. That's how you got to look at it. LaSalle with a $2 super chat. It's still early in the season. Don't hit the panic button. Yeah, I'm not hitting no panic button, bro. I am not concerned whatsoever about the New York Knicks after this, man. I am not. Huckporty should play the 5 with Towns at the 4. Hey, I think that's a good take right there, Mike. I think that's a good take. Ariel Huckporty all of a sudden has won Tom Thibodeau's trust like that, which is very impressive because it takes a little bit to earn the trust of Tom Thibodeau, especially from a rookie. So expect Ariel Huckporty to mix. And also, Precious Achiuwa is injured, so that we don't really have anybody off the bench to trust coming in for Karl Anthony Towns. And maybe Tom Thibodeau can experiment with Cat and Huckporty on the court together, but that's just going to maybe mess things up and clog things up and remove the spacing, but it won't hurt to try. It will not hurt to try, man. Campaign was terrible, was responsible for blowing the 13-point lead. Yeah, I mean, Cameron Payne, -6 on this game. Didn't really have any positive impact. I mean, he went out there and he shot the ball 7 times. That's where I'm just like, all right, Cameron Payne, I like you, but we don't need you shooting the ball 7 times in 10 minutes. When Cat shot the ball 8 times in 32 minutes. That's kind of ridiculous. At least the basketball season has 82 games to figure things out. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. This is game 3 of the season. Game 3 of the season, man. It seems like Campaign takes more shots than Cat. LOL, Cat has to get way more shots than 8. Exactly. That's what every Knicks fan's wondering. How is Karl Anthony Towns, a guy that we traded like everything for, Randall, Dante for, in a big, big trade, not even getting opportunities? Karl Anthony Towns is a volume scorer. You need to feed that man. And the fact that the Knicks are not feeding him is a little concerning. Early on. It's early. Okay, I'm not going to hit the panic button, not even close to hit the panic button. I need to see at least 10 games before I need to do that, right? A 10-game sample size. But in Karl Anthony Towns' 3 games as a New York Knick, he has shot the ball 8 times. Tonight, 11 times against the Pacers and 9 times against the Celtics. I think that needs to change. If there's one thing that this Knicks front office and this Knicks coaching staff needs to adjust on the court, it's getting Cat the ball. The most shots he's ever taken this season in 3 games is 11. Now, that game against the Pacers, and I think that's also kind of just telling you how balanced the Knicks team is, where we don't need to rely on Cat to shoot 20+. But I would like to see what Karl-Anthony Towns can do with 20+ shots and Jalen Brunson 20+ shots. I know that we're balanced, and I think that's what we also need to realize, that we have Bridges that's going to take shots. We have OG who's getting some confidence offensively. Josh Hart is going to take some shots. But the fact that Jalen Brunson shot the ball as many times as he did, 24 times, and only hit 8 field goals, that's not going to win you basketball games. So I think this loss falls on Jalen Brunson. It falls on the defense down the stretch. And you also just got to tip your cap, man. Darius Garland went off. He went off in this game. I mean, some players have it where you're just like, yeah. I mean, in the fourth quarter, you just see Garland pull up from like 3 feet beyond the arc. You're just like, that's in. Yep. Knicks fans have lived through this enough to know when a player is red hot in Madison Square Garden on the opposing team, it's like it doesn't even matter what you do defensively. It doesn't even matter if you put 2 hands in this guy's face. You know when he pulls it, it's going to go in. Garland caught fire in the fourth quarter, and I think that's a big reason why we lost. That's a big reason why we lost, man. Cam hasn't seen a shot. He doesn't like shoots the ball every time he touches the ball. We need a point guard when Brunson's on the bench. Yeah, Cameron Payne feels a little too like, oh, when I'm in the game, I'm going to take over. I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to drive. Like, that's not who you are, Cameron Payne. That's not who you are. You could provide energy. I think that's what Deuce McBride's role should be. Who kept hitting clutch shot, by the way. Deuce McBride continues to look phenomenal. 14 points off the bench, 4 assists, pushing the ball in transition. You know, Josh Hart's injury, I do think, did not help this Knicks team. And Bridges also looked really good. I think Bridges deserves more looks offensively. 9 of 15, very efficient. But at the end of the day, when you turn the ball over as many times as the Knicks did, and you don't contain a red-hot scorer like Garland, you're going to lose. You are going to lose. We'll be all right. Just got to fix the mistakes, keep moving forward, and focus on the next game on Wednesday night against the Miami Heat. Orange and blue, baby. Love that, Gabriel. Love it. So that's going to wrap up this post-game recap, guys. Let me know your thoughts when this show is all wrapped up. Salute to Knicks Nation all around the world, man. Much love to you guys. Disappointing L for these New York Knicks, but we got an opportunity to bounce back 100% on Wednesday night to get to 500. Too many turnovers, too many missed shots. Could not have said it better myself. Too many turnovers and too many missed shots. You're not going to win a lot of games with that energy. But I trust Thibodeau. I trust this Knicks team to come together and figure this out, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll probably do a video to kind of break down the current state of the Knicks and how things can get improved. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. Much love to Knicks Nation. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out, folks.